Welcome! We are back finally after another month of hiatus from making videos. And this time we are bringing to you the biggest ships that we have in the game. Well, most of them at least. Yeah, just showing them off how many weapons they have and how they fare against other supers and capital ships. So, with me
All the
today, I have Bullet.
hello. We're gonna
And
do all the big Chungus ships today.
yeah, so let's first take a look here because I've been busy doing these texts here. So we have some stats and some roles and manufacturers in the info cards now. And yeah, as we can see, this thing is quite bulky, has a fast charging shield, so that means it can get back into action quickly. Also quite maneuverable, good sensor range, and yeah, a lot of weapons. Yeah, we use some short form on the text for the weapons, so that we can actually list all of them out, because the big ships, they really have tons of weapons. So this would be 8 medium dual turbo lasers, 6 medium dual turbo ion cannons, targetable, and then those in the brackets, those are untargetable weapons. So those would be 8 light turbo lasers, 8 light turbo ion cannons. So turbo ion cannons are the anti-shield ion cannons, not the stun ones. And then 8 heavy laser cannons. Alright.
Befehl bestätigt.
And we will fight 2 ISD-1s with that beast. So let's see how that goes.
Taktisches Gefecht steht gleich bevor.
Yeah, command ships are probably still, or Dreadnoughts command ships. I guess we're calling them Dreadnoughts these days.
Yeah, the class is command ship, but or the role is command ship, but the class is Dreadnought now.
Right.
I think the game might be too loud still. Okay.
Waffen aufgeladen.
Now it's quite quiet, but
Jawohl.
it's fine.
Befehl bestätigt. Achtet auf diese Jäger.
Yeah, the balance behind these
Einsatzbereit.
ships is definitely gonna take a couple iterations, I'm sure.
Kavalleriekreuzer hier. Drehe
Only
weit.
because big ships in Empire at War have never been easy to balance,
Wir
just
haben
due
den
to
Gegner ausgemacht.
a bunch of
Und
things.
Kavalleriekreuzer bereit.
I don't really feel like getting into them.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of weird
Alle Schiffe
discrepancy. The bigger the ship, the weirder the targeting distances and such.
Yeah,
Pathfinding
if you
is
fight them,
another-
it gets weirder.
A-Wing ist
Yeah,
bereit.
pathfinding's always been a major problem. So we'll
Oh yeah. But we're working on pathfinding too. I've added some sweet new
Eröffnet das Feuer auf diese
ways to do
Laserbatterie.
the pathfinding. Basically calculating how big the collision boxes of the ships are actually, and putting that in game. Because by default, the game, I don't know, it seems to turn the collision box by 90 degrees. It was always way shorter and always way wider. So that's why when you move ships information, it just didn't work. So
Right.
this is why this formation here is even possible, I feel like. Yeah, also, we should probably showcase this a little more. New lights on the home one. Now it looks just like in the movies. Very nice. And we're still holding. Our shields can still sustain this punishment from those 2 ISD-1s.
our shields can sustain firepower of that magnitude.
Yeah.
Proton torpedoes are armed and ready.
I hate myself for that joke.
We're going in.
Let's go, B-Wings. The heavy torpedoes are now way slower. And they track longer. But
Have
this
we
should-
talked about what is it? The torpedo burn has been.
Yeah, torpedo burn is no
Cut.
more because it never worked. We always thought it was, but it wasn't. Just a sad placebo.
Sadly, not really possible, and so it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Hauptziel sind die Laserbatterien.
Okay, we're getting in trouble now. The ISDs, they have smart targeting. So the AI now targets whatever subsystems it sees threatening to the unit. So it won't just attack the nearest anymore. It will actually go for subsystems that it thinks needs to die for it to win.
Feuer auf diese Laserbatterien.
Yeah, and we were able to get our shields back online, because the way the shield depletion works, I don't know, have we even showed it off? I don't think so.
I don't know if we have. Yeah.
Anyways, how it works is when your shield is gone, in the background it recharges for, I think it's 30 seconds or something. And then when those 30 seconds are over, you get the shields back that you recharged until that point. So this is especially powerful for ships that are quick on the recharge, like MC-80s and stuff like that. So when they lose their shields, they can get them back and then even boost them up with power to shields and stuff,
Running out of
if they get the
maneuvers.
chance.
Can't see this guy.
Okay, first ISD is crippled. So soon we will see
Don't worry. I'm on
shields
him.
coming back
Break
with
to
not
435,
0
then
health,
follow
but
me.
actually a little bit.
Stay tight to your wingman.
There you
There
go.
it is.
But on these big ships, it's of course scaled down so that you don't get a quarter of your shields back. So it's not overpowered, I would say. But we're getting our ass beat right now from these two ISD-1s. I was under the impression we would win that. Maybe we can. If we get the shields back again and can power. I know,
Yeah,
still
it's gonna
no
be a
power to
while.
shields. Yeah, smart targeting AI too difficult, and now they're going after Mahul.
Yeah, I remember we tested this back before the AI could target subsystems intelligently. It was an
And
easier
that
win
was
back
easy.
then. Ideally, the command ships are more of a long-lasting map-wide presence due to their larger nature. MC Independence is actually kind of one of the smallest dreadnoughts in the
Yeah.
game because, well, just of the nature of the unit, but
Well, it is 3 kilometers still, so.
yeah, it's pretty big. The MCs really are like all. This one in particular is still very much in style to how MCs operate in general, which is lots of shields and pretty bad armor and not the best weaponry, not the heaviest weaponry. Independence just gets a lot of them. And ideally it's made to be a tank for the fleet.
I felt like if I crippled these weapon banks earlier, I would have won. Oh!
Probably. I don't think it's gonna last.
And there it goes. So Independence isn't the win button anymore that it used to be, I would think. But still very useful. If you don't have like specific anti-shield units, you might struggle against it. Okay, next up, what should we do first? Underworld or the Empire supers?
I would say the Empire.
Okay, let's have a look.
Empire have a lot.
Yeah, we have quite few chips to choose from.
Allegiance is interesting.
Yeah, the Allegiance here, we can see weapons. It has 12 heavy 2-burst dual turbo lasers. So 2 burst means they fire 2 times and then they recharge. So it's like a quad weapon that is divided into 2 shots instead of 1 powerful shot. Yeah, then long range turbo ion cannons, medium dual turbo ion cannons, and a bunch of untargetable turbo
A
lasers.
lot of armor.
Yeah, a lot of armor.
I think this actually might be the most armored.
No,
Out of
Bellator has
well,
more.
obviously. Oh yeah, the Bellator.
And
But
Arkheimer too. Arkheimer is gigantic now.
that's true. Well, but the Allegiance doesn't have. I mean, it's weird. The Allegiance is technically not. I don't know if we're gonna place it Galactic Civil War yet, or
I would
near.
first,
near
I would place it a Galactic Civil War, just so that it get actually used.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're fighting a fleet consisting of 3 MC-80s right now with that thing. So let's see if we can pull it off with superior firepower. Got a sweet new model too from the remake team, which might get adjusted more down the line later from Steiner. But for now, it's still pretty sweet. Has the AotR engine effects and all the other stuff rigged on it, and yeah, just looks awesome.
Befehl bestätigt.
Yeah, I forget. I'm pretty sure this Allegiance was also, the turrets were inspired from way back when Steiner did our Allegiance, where they were grouped and angled like that in a row. I do remember. Maybe I'm misremembering that, but I do remember like some of that design work for the remake Allegiance came from our Allegiance, and then now we use their Allegiance again. So
We used
good,
the
good
model,
times.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
Gegnerische Truppen voraus. Schaltet die Ionenkanonen aus.
Yeah, there goes the long-range ions.
If you notice, the
Greife den Gegner an.
Allegiance is classified as it's still a Dreadnought, but it's Battleship is its role.
Yep. Oh, we want to take out this one first.
The Independence was more command ship, and meaning that it supports the fleet more. This thing is more of a fleet killer. But yeah, it comes with no fighters, so you better hope it's escorted. I would say fighters would be its...
In this course we aren't, and we have a lot of fighters to fight.
Eröffnet das Feuer.
Yeah, they will definitely chip away at us with the fighters.
My A-Wings won't do anything, but yeah, the other ones will. Okay.
Oh, that's the other thing. We haven't done fighter loadouts yet, so that'll probably be shown off later date. We have to do a lot of.
Okay, Freedom is coming in. And we should do power to main batteries right now. So only our main turbo lasers will fire, but they will fire way faster.
This is a good situation where you want to just target the hull and get the ship
just get it
blown
over
up
with.
quicker. Especially considering you have heavy turbos against the medium.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah.
Holy shit. And there it goes. And now we go for the Liberty.
Yep. The Allegiance is definitely a capital ship killer.
Yep, that's what it does.
And I
It
guess
takes on 2 at a time right now.
Other Dreadnought killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anything, we might just have to buff the Independence after this a bit more. But
well, I also didn't micro it perfectly.
I would like to see an Allegiance versus an Independence.
Yeah, we can
see
do
where
that
that
too.
stacks up.
Oh, let's actually target the weapons a little bit.
Liberty's going to be hard
They
to
will
get
do that too. They will go for the turbo lasers now with the Liberty. Since the Liberty has no more shields, it will prioritize taking on our turbo lasers. And this thing, since it has shields, it will still go for ion cannons. That's kind of how it works now.
Yeah.
So
There's
it's
a lot
not
of contextual.
perfect, but it they can still do it somewhat. Yeah, it's better than just attacking nearest. And sometimes they will go for subsystems too. That's just randomized. Okay, and it's time. We have a lot of main batteries still online, so we should do just power to main weapons again. The first initial reload might have mistimed the ability. Now we're going off.
There we go. They're ready to go.
And now it's gonna get hammered. Oh, yes, this just looks so cool every time. When the other weapons come back online too. And now it's just Alliance left here. So let's just enjoy this carnage.
Ooh, rocket.
Through the debris of the other ship there. So yeah, this is just very fun.
In a straight up capital ship battle, the Allegiance is definitely not something you want to go up against.
Yeah, maybe we can also show off how to deal with ships like that.
Yeah.
Alliance
probably.
assault frigates.
Yep. and corvettes. Basically get smaller craft that the big cannons can't hit. In that way.
Or in
You,
the case of the assault frigate, it just has an anti-heavy shield. So we haven't really talked about the shield types yet in any of these videos. But if we look at the Allegiance, for example, there under shield it says the shield HP 20k, and then it says slow charging anti-heavy. So it's quite self-explanatory. So it's slow charging, so once the shields go down, it's very unlikely that they will come back. But they're geared towards heavy weapons, so it takes less damage from heavy turbolasers and medium turbolasers, but it takes more damage from light turbolasers, laser cannons, and lasers. So just another point that it just sucks against fighters, as we can see right now. It has some laser cannons that shoot, but not many.
Yep. So if you see a heavy shield, anti-heavy shield ship approaching, you usually want to focus it down with units that have lighter caliber weapons, such as fighters and corvettes and stuff, because the shields will break a lot easier.
Yep.
Versus just firing at it with other capital ship or heavy weapons.
Yep. For the other shield types, so anti-medium, it works differently than on ground. Anti-medium is only good against medium and light weapons. And it takes extra damage from heavy and laser cannons and all that. So it's not like a curve, it's more of a... You have your best thing you're geared towards, so for example medium, and then the tier of weapon below that you're also somewhat good against. That's how we set it up for space. Because otherwise too many ships would be too effective against heavy turbolasers, and yeah, we wanted to keep them having a punch, so...
Yeah, I don't think this Allegiance can deal with the rest of this.
Yeah, we can just
I literally...
that, and then we win easy.
Right. Magic cure for any situation.
Thank you, Empire at War. Okay, next up, I guess we can first, or should we keep the Archammer maybe in a battle for Archammer versus Independence, and then first we do Bellator versus the fleet that is positioned here over Bees.
Yeah, let's do the Bellator. Archammer's just kind of a meme.
Yeah. It got more weapons now, at least.
It's there to give you droid fighters. That's about it.
Yeah, lots and lots of droid
It's
fighters.
basically a super carrier. Or endurance carrier, whatever we end up calling this. But
yeah, Commander.
Here's the beast itself.
The Bellator is a little bit more well-rounded than Allegiance. I would consider this more of a mini executor.
Yeah. It has a lot of lighter turbolasers and also has missiles.
This is basically like if you want to spend, if you need a fleet and you got credits to spend, this ship is basically a fleet on its own.
Yeah. It's also quite fast, and it's a long-range ship now, so...
Commander, unser Hauptziel sind die Laserbatterien.
Okay. I don't know how much kiting you can do with a Dreadnought, but...
No, it's just that it can actually turn around and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, let's fuck this shit up. Just target the hull and let's go. Oh, there come all the cluster rockets. Oh, and the whole squadron just died to that. This ship is going down. We're taking some decent damage.
Taking fire.
Well, we still have a lot of health to go. And another one bites the dust.
Those poor Clone Wars ships.
Yeah.
I love the gigantic.
Yeah, the
Cannon.
siege cannons there, or heavy long range, I think it's only.
You know,
Werde beschossen. Commander, Sie treffen uns.
it is really cool. I want to. I guess the thing that we're still trying to balance around, and the thing that, because we don't want
Wir haben die Ionenkanone
dreadnoughts or
verloren.
super ships or whatever. We don't want them to be instant win buttons.
Yeah,
Essentially, like they need to be able to be countered, and they need to serve a certain purpose. And I think the best way that, at least I'm trying to think about it when we're going through and balancing this stuff is, well, I guess the first half of this conversation would be to talk about how star bases work, but I don't really want to get into that yet. But essentially, I would consider, from a rough perspective, without going into many details, like a dreadnought super ship type of ship is essentially giving you a star base for attack. It'll be your kind of like center point for the fleet, and it will usually be able to kind of deal with a lot of different situations across different ranges.
Angriff auf
I guess
dieses
that's kind of
Ziel.
spoiling how star bases will work too, but
it's
we'll
fine.
get into more detail there. But essentially, the idea of these big ships is to give you a sort of, it's more like a siege. They will help you a lot more on planets where there'll
Those are
be
heavily fortified. I guess.
heavy fortified. Yeah, lots of units. Where maybe it might be better to send one of these instead of losing a lot of ships to a fleet battle. Of course, the credit investment's going to be a lot bigger, and of course, they can't really protect them. They're kind of either they're really good at one specialized role, or they're kind of just not. They're just a big damage sink, but they're not really good at any particular one
Die
thing.
Laser sind unser Ziel.
So, in this case, the Bellator is kind of just like it's like a big ISD is how I would view it. It's like just, not really great at any one particular thing, but it gives you some fighters, it gives you pretty good defense against a larger fleet. The Allegiance, on the other hand, I would consider a big Tector, where it's
Yeah.
like very, very specialized in a very specific role.
Just
but
killing
it
these
will-
big cap ships.
Yeah.
And in this case, the AI is actually winning this.
Unsere Startrampe ist vernichtet.
Yep. Who would have thought you can actually lose super ships?
It's crazy.
It's a very interesting concept for Empire Ore. Maybe you might be even able to blow up the Death Star in battle. Who knows?
Never before seen mechanics. And there it goes.
I wonder if the game would crash if you were. I don't think I've ever tested that. If you could actually like target the Death Star and blow it up.
Okay, shall we? We keep the Tiger for another battle.
Yeah.
The next one we're gonna show, I think.
Yeah. The Lucre Hulk, right?
Yep.
Is, I guess, a Dreadnought. Is it considered a Dreadnought in
Yeah,
this
of
game?
course.
Yeah, it is. It should
Everything
be.
that's bigger than 2 kilometers is a Dreadnought.
Yep.
Class.
There it is.
Yep.
The Lucre Hulk.
I guess we'll head there.
Got a nice voiceover too. And we're fighting the Tage cruiser, which is also similar to the Lucrock in that it's mostly a carrier, right?
Yeah, it's a very similar ship. It's also, they're both technically command ships.
Okay.
That's
Battleship is
considered.
ready.
Oh, I can't select it. Took a while.
Aye. Yeah.
This thing is very slow though.
It's a freighter.
As you can see, acceleration is very low, turn rate is low.
What
The
you
top
need?
speed is at least 150, so
Aye.
Yep.
Fire it engine.
But while you have this, you basically will have fighters throughout the entire battle. At least some.
oh, we can show off the Star Viper ability, the particle cloud. Looks
Yeah.
a little better now. So this area here, jams missiles. So you can put particle clouds in a dogfight, or you just place them
Protecting
above
ships,
ships. But it might be fucked because of the different layers. That's just something to keep in mind. Okay, so I guess weapon-wise we can quickly have a glance here on the Lucroc and see, okay, it has 16 light long-range quad turbo lasers, those are the targetable weapons here. And then it's all some light long-range turbo lasers in the trenches, heavy laser cannons sprinkled around, and then all these cannons here are flak cannons, so it's very effective at anti-air. As we can see, it will just eat up all these fighters. Itself, we
Yeah.
don't really need to protect it. Yeah, just tons of health, slow charging shield, but a ton of it too.
Much
Yeah.
like in episode 1, you don't want to have a dogfight around a Lucre Hulk. It's not. You
Not
will not.
advised.
You will not. If you have a fighter fleet, you will not have a good time. And it's a very similar story with the tag.
No, not really. It doesn't have that much anti-air.
Has less, but
It actually has 2 targetable flak cannons here. Besides, it's just laser cannons. But it has turrets now, as we can see here.
it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it has turrets like across the spine here and on the sides. Those are also light duals, long range, and then medium duals. So it has a little heavier weapons than the Lucroc, but less of them. And it's just generally not as good as the Lucroc, which is just tanking for days at the moment. Every time those quad cannons hit, they nearly blow up a hardpoint. But the thing about the Lucroc is it has not the greatest firing arcs, right? So these cannons here, they cannot shoot right now. All of them. Only these here can shoot and the ones in the front. But when it's surrounded, it can just shoot in all directions. So that's a thing to keep in mind when using these ships. Yeah, these battles tend to take a while. Tiger Cruiser also has Brace for Impact now, so can stick around a little longer even.
And it also deploys fighters for days.
Yep.
Yeah, so actually very similar kinds of ships.
Yeah.
Geared a little differently though. I'd almost say that the Lucre Hulk probably shouldn't even have that as much shields as it currently is able to.
Yeah, maybe.
Not really
Yeah, but now it's
combat ship.
bye-bye time.
But
Maybe this thing can actually pull through. If it kills all my quad cannons, I have like no weapons left. And it will go for my quad cannons.
oh, I guess the other thing, neither of these ships have a targetable hardpoint for a hangar. So you have to kill the ship to get rid of the fighter deployment, or drain all the fighters out of it. There's no way to like snipe hangar bays. I mean, on a Lucre Hulk it makes sense, the whole ship is a hangar bay.
Yeah.
And the tag, well, has also a pretty big hangar bay underside, so.
There it went. There it goes. Okay. And guess the last ship that the Black Sun has in the super department or Dreadnought department is the Bloodstar,
Yeah.
which was reworked a little re-rigging, has a lot more weapons now. And yeah, it has siege turbo lasers, heavy quad turbo lasers, and then a bunch of medium quad turbo lasers and repeating point defense. So nothing lighter than medium quads, which is absolutely insane.
It's definitely a battleship.
Yep. absolutely go down against frigates and maybe even cruisers. But there it goes. Has a nice engine glow now. Also spawns good fighters. Maybe too many at the moment.
Well, it spawns gunships too, which is crazy.
Yep. And then here are the targetable turbo lasers, the quads. But you can blow up the hangar on this ship. It's just way too exposed in the front. And only one
Probably
shield hardpoint, only one engine hardpoint, so those are more or less its weaknesses.
Very slow.
Yeah, it also very slow. Similar speed to the Dreadnought cruiser. And also has brace for impact now.
It's a big dreadnought.
It's there to tank.
It's a tank, yeah. That's its point. And yeah, this is probably one of the models that is on the list for a redo if we can get to it. I do
Yeah.
like that we rigged the touch-ups on the old models to at least bide them some time.
Yeah.
And then as we have, you know, time and as we knock out other ships,
Oh, here comes the first salvo of heavies.
IPV meldet sich.
Okay, let's take this down.
yeah, Independence would probably get some more fighters than it currently has too.
Yeah, it has way too less at the moment. It needs more reserves too.
Yeah, well, fighter complements. That's probably even like a whole nother video, along with population and I don't know. There's just a lot to do. Still.
Yeah.
But
We have been in this development hell for so long.
we're actually a lot closer than
Yeah.
than
And
it-
we've ever
it
been.
seems, it seems
Every
pretty
day
daunting.
we get closer to it.
Yep.
Erwarte Ihre Anweisungen.
The big thing will be the balance towards the end. Once everything is put together.
That's
But
always the case.
Feuerbereit.
Yeah, even ground took a couple to get right, a couple patches. So
But that's
not too
for
worried
the
about
players
that
to
part.
figure out. Okay, soon.
Yeah, this is a mean ship. It's got a nasty broadside.
Position bestätigt.
There you go, guys. You wanted nasty broadsiders. I kind of want to get these fighters out of the battle and see how these ships themselves fight. Because soon I will have a weakness of having no more shields, and then it can just snipe my powerful hardpoints away. But we can do that too.
Shields are down on both.
Waffen geladen.
Oh, it went for the shield generator first. Dude, these heavy quads are just so insane. They're actually overkilling a little bit on this medium armor.
Roger bestätigt. Feind in Reichweite.
Oh, also there have been auto-fire scripts have been done for fighters and all that, so
Nähern sich.
that kind of polish is also going on simultaneously.
Yeah, the AI targeting hardpoint thing has really changed the difficulty.
Yeah.
Quite substantially again. Another round of Skynet AI.
As always, improving.
Yeah, and it is nice to have all the new abilities auto-firing in space.
Well, not all of them yet, but most. And
Well,
it's
they will
also,
be
I
once.
know how to set it up for the AI to use all the abilities properly. Even the ones like power to main batteries, which sometimes is a bad idea if you don't have the weapon banks
Weapons.
anymore. We can figure that out a little bit. And power to ion cannons, that it will only really do that if the target still has shields. Just random shit like that. Okay, now we are losing the banks and the ship wants to turn around, so get more weapon banks yeah, aiming towards our enemy ship here.
Oh, this is interesting.
The other ship is also turning around. We have good firing arcs on the weapons we have, though.
We will expose our big engine.
Gegnerisches Ziel entdeckt.
Isn't
Yeah.
that one of the targeting priorities too? If you're retreating, they'll start sniping your engines out.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
planned at
it's,
least to be in the game. It's not
it's
there yet.
I'm pretty sure I've seen it happen. So on some level, it's already in the game. And it's very nasty when it happens.
Angriff.
Oh, the shields are still up.
Yeah, you can never really get rid of them on Cal shields.
Yeah, it's very fitting to how they're always.
Which is why the hull is almost half gone on the Independence compared to the Bloodstar. It's just a different balancing.
Yeah.
It leans more into shields than it does armor. But sometimes it can really screw you. Sometimes it could save you, and sometimes it screws you. I think it's interesting to be very careful.
If you
with
can't
Mon Cal.
overpower the shields, Moncals are just very invincible. Because their health is just regenning the whole day. But if you can overpower the shields easily, then they can fall apart very quickly.
Yep, or use specialized weapons, right?
Yeah, or you have stun ions and just stop their power to shields abilities. And
Shield penetration weapons, ion cannons, yeah.
I can see the comments already. Oh, Independence useless. Home one.
Well, maybe in this balance iteration, it did suffer.
Well,
a
maybe
bit,
also without a fleet, it's useless.
That ought to teach him who's boss around here.
But it's it's just a tank. It's not the damage dealer. Okay. Let me set up a few more battles and we'll be right back. Next up, we wanted to also show off the Arc Hammer, since we now use a different model for it finally. The one from Remake. The nice teamwork here always happening. So we're putting it against the Independence. Maybe we can prove that the Independence is actually a good ship.
Maybe.
And here it goes, the
Doubt.
supermassive Arc Hammer. The targeted hardpoints are all in the back area with tons of targetable hangars, so we can shut down the spawning, it just takes a lot of effort. And besides that, it has some untargetable light turbolasers and laser cannons in the front here. And then here some medium turbolasers. And missile launchers too, assault missiles. And it just spawns shit tons of TIE droids.
Yeah. Gib ram ability with the spear. It is really. I do like Jiron's interpretation of this ship.
Yeah, it's really accurate to what it looked like in Dark Forces or whatever this comes from.
Yeah, that weird game.
Okay, let's go. TIE droids. Very useless fighters. They are even worse than TIEs. But we have so many.
They're almost as bad as the droid starfighter. They actually might be just as bad or worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing has a lot of missiles though. That's the neat part of it.
Yep, but it's
This
has
is
to
not a
decide
combat
into one
ship.
firing angle. Yeah, it really isn't a combat ship.
Super carrier.
We just get tons and tons of these cheap shit fighters.
Actually, the Arc Hammer was the inspiration for how we are doing carriers in the game, in general, which is neat. I think right now in public build, the Arc Hammer deploys something like 60 TIE droids.
Something
And
crazy
but it
like
was
that.
but it was 12 at a time, and then I was like, oh, but it's like 5 waves extra of fighters, and I was like, you know, that's kind of how you want a carrier to work. You want the fighters to always be on the battle, have a large reserve. Arc Hammer is kind of special though. I mean, it is a super ship. You're gonna get 12 like active TIE droids at a time. That won't be the case for other carriers, but
Einsatzbereit.
What is this
Yeah.
guy doing?
I don't know. I don't know if the Independents can do anything. I think it's just bad. Sad.
Waffensysteme. Feuer frei.
Mad because bad. It's
It
definitely
will,
trying to
it
get
will punch through now.
some sort of angle.
Now it will kill my missiles first.
Oh,
Okay.
wow, predicted. Very nice.
Well, I programmed it low. Oh, it switched to my engines. Okay. This was not the smartest move from it, just moving to the other side.
Bestätige.
Yeah, these battle stages tend to take a long time. Oh, engine
Ah.
fires.
It's pretty cool.
Let's just watch it for like 30 minutes. Oh, they're going for my engines.
This looks like
Battle of
What
the
is that video?
Dreadnoughts.
yeah, Battle of the Dreadnoughts. That's right.
The
That's what
Eckert
this
Ladder
looks like.
video. Oh, they blew up my engines. Oh no.
At some point, the Eclipse will make it into the game. At some point. So,
Oh yeah, for sure.
spoiler alert, but I've always wanted it.
Me too. Bring back the original Forces of Corruption finale. The final mission.
Shh, don't tell him that part.
I'm just memeing. And how we're looking. Okay, nothing happened.
Unsere Fabriken
Nice.
sind bereit.
This is
Fun
when two
little
tanks
stalemate.
fight each other. As long as we have missiles, we can do damage.
But they know that.
Yeah, they know it. We know it. And now they're going after
Long
turbo lasers.
Medium turbo lasers.
Man. Dang man, this AI is smart.
Quick, use your missile shield.
Aktiviere Raketenschild.
Hell yeah.
Warte mit Feuer für maximale Wirkung.
Oh, nice. That will do it.
And last missile hardpoint.
Erwarte eure Befehle.
Shooting off those missiles.
Independence, what are you doing? Oh no, now that they've pierced the shields, some serious time to do some damage. That's the other cool thing about the shield recharge. It's not just the MCs that do that, like, buffer of health. It's all the ships. But it's really interesting because now you have to, like, time your abilities to, like, if you time your abilities during that phase where the shields are down, that's when you'll do the most damage.
Damn, what is this even? Just very weird. Oh my lord.
There he goes. Endless waves of TIE droids. It never stops.
Yep. Archimus is burning. Trying to do something. Yeah, I don't know, should we really continue this? I think point is proven.
The Arc Hammer eventually dies, hopefully. In this.
Yeah.
Maybe not though.
I don't know, it's weird. The last time
I don't know.
tested around with the Independence, it won clearly.
It's those targeting priorities.
Well, then it would win even more now, right? Whatever. I'm tired of watching this. Let's show another thing. Or should we?
Sind in Angriffsposition.
Yeah, the ships are always moving, it's not a stalemate, which is quite cool.
Yeah, that is another interesting thing. Oh no, Independence is gonna lose.
Oh, one more shield.
Sorry,
refresh.
Independence fans. It just seems like
Habe verstanden.
It might need a
wait.
little more shields. Or
Gonna-
just more wall health too. Whatever.
gonna enjoy the YouTube comments on that. That's
Yeah.
gonna be fun.
We know. And we'll get
No,
to it.
Maxim, this is the final version of the game. It's shipping tomorrow.
Oh, if we would, that
No
would be so
time
good.
for balance. No time for balance. This is
Yeah,
zero.
the fun thing is I balanced this for so long and it worked better.
Once the numbers have been punched in, it's unchangeable.
Okay, so now
Unfortunately.
we have a different situation here. We have some specific anti big ships here. The MC-30C, which is a torpedo boat. It also has a new ability now. Very cool one. And then the Alliance Assault Frigate, which is of course just absolute killer.
Alliance Underground Engineering.
Yep. It has anti-heavy shields, same with the MC-30. So
That's
we
the,
are pretty well equipped against those heavy turbolasers of the legions we're gonna try and fight with this force. So let's see how that turns out. MC-30s have a new ability called Overcharge Shields, which instead of making your shields recharge quicker, it actually lowers the damage you take quite drastically, but you lose shields over time during the ability. So if you activate it, it's also a red shield. You see you drain shields, but you take a lot less damage during the, while the ability is active.
Red shields.
Yep.
Wow.
Fregatte meldet sich.
Nice visual indicator, right?
Oh yeah.
Bereit zum Einsatz.
Okay, what I want to do first is I wanna kill the shield generator and then move in with my assault frigates later.
Waffen geladen. Bestätigt. Fregatte hier. Ich bin
So
dran.
let's keep those on 2 and those on
Waffen
1.
bereit.
Let's systematically destroy this bad boy, shall we?
Bereit. Gegnerische Truppen voraus. Befehl bestätigt.
Uh-oh.
It will miss
That's
us
a
a lot.
big ship. That's a big ship.
4 Kalamari-Fregatte. Feuert auf den Schildgenerator. Entfernt den Schildgenerator.
This is like those when you're playing like the D&D and you keep missing dice rolls.
Kalamari-Fregatte
Yeah.
bereit.
Oh,
I don't know why they
Sorry.
won't target the fucking shields.
Entfernt den Schildgenerator.
Excuse me,
Feuert auf
assault
den
frigates?
Schildgenerator.
Oh,
Geschützefeuer
I
bereit.
guess MC-30 is not assault frigates. I want to destroy this.
Bestätige. Sofort. Bin
Okay,
unterwegs.
let's also go to one flank.
Information.
so both guns don't fire at you.
Erwarte Befehle.
Yep.
Verstanden.
It's just very fun to just move around with these ships.
Entfernt den Schildgenerator.
Yeah, you could probably even flank from behind and
Unterwegs zu den Koordinaten.
stay out of
Okay, let's
the...
here overcharge the shields and retreat. So if we get hit, it will not really damage us that badly.
Habe verstanden. Feuert auf den
Okay, here,
Schildgenerator.
one more shield to kill.
Melde mich. So gut wie erledigt.
Okay, this ship was able to get out of range. Okay, shields are down. Time for the assault frigates.
Commander. Fregatte in Bereitschaft.
This ship can also retreat.
Unterwegs zum Zielpunkt. Fregatte meldet sich. Unterwegs. Bereit zum Einsatz.
Just very, very cool, I think.
Erwarte
This
Befehl.
ability.
Geladen.
Yep.
Hier
And
ist
now
Fregatte.
just...
And now we
Ow.
just go in there. Become the hype boats and power to main weapons.
Feuer.
And now the Allegiance is completely crippled
And it just melts now.
And now you can send the rest of the fleet.
Der Antrieb. Waffen bereit.
Yeah, kill the engines so they can't...
In Bereitschaft.
No more running.
Zerstört den Antrieb.
No more chasing.
Unser Primärziel ist der
Where do
Antrieb.
you... Where,
Yeah,
where
like
do you
holy
think you're
shit,
going?
man. These assault frigates are so insane. Oh, I love it. And we just counter their weaponry so hard.
Yep, because the assault frigates have anti-heavy shields.
And look how
so-
nice and close we can even move them because of the new collision boxes.
Right.
Gegner entdeckt. Hier
And all our MC-30s were able to run away with Overcharge Shields.
I can bring them back and
Yep.
blow it all up.
But we don't really need to. This is already cursed. It's already doomed. So maybe we don't even need that many ships to win this battle. Yeah, just for the heck of it, let's enjoy this cool looking shield bubble again. Very nice. I also coded the AI to do that too. So they know how to pull that maneuver off with the MC-30s. So yeah, just showcasing again. If you bring the right ships, you can decimate those bigger targets and yeah, exploit their weaknesses. And there goes a lot into that. For one, the shield type you have is a pretty big thing for situations like this, and then of course the weapons that you have. So we needed those proton torpedoes that just blow up heavy armor, and those medium close range weapons that just fire so much and also penetrate well enough to pull that off. Okay. I think that should be it. It's a little shorter, this video, than the other ones, but we also don't have that many super ships.
Yep, it's true.
Yeah, I guess next time it will either be just the stations, or some of the stations, I guess, or whatever we want to do with the stations in this version, because we have changed it quite a bit.
Yep.
Or we do fleet battles. So instead of these 1v1s or very controlled battles, we will have just big fleets, maybe even with stations, just clash each other and show how that looks. Because it's quite different from these controlled battles. But until then, hope you guys enjoyed this, and see you.
Yep, see you later.